Oh, gee, surprise, surprise, right again. I told you Bitcoin was going to bottom this week that we just finished. Bitcoin closed out the Sunday session for the week, rebounding back up. I told you that was going to happen. I predicted that we were going to bottom this week. We had a shot at it at the 200, just above the 200 or below the 200. And if we went lower, there was that trend line going back to the 2023 low. We ended up bouncing off of it if we exclude the shadow. I just want to say something. When you make bold calls, when you say what you think, which very few people will do. Most people predict things, like right now everybody's predicting, oh, wasn't it so obvious of a bottom? We're saying that a couple of days ago. I turned very bullish and called the bottom right there because the herd got so bearish. The herd gets extremely bearish at bottoms and extremely bullish at tops. Back up here when I called the day of the top on January 20th, and back over here when I called the day of the top on December 17th at the trend line of resistance. And I told you, we got a topping tail here, we got a topping tail here, and I told you those were tops. The herd wasn't bearish, extremely bullish. The herd, very bullish at tops, very bearish at bottoms. And that's why I turned bullish, do the opposite of what the herd does, just like back over here at the January low. And over here, when we had the tariff sell-off, that low right there, the herd was extremely bearish and in freak-out mode. And over here, their heads started to explode. And again, remember I told you that we saw the fear greed index for crypto. It reached 10. I could be wrong, and we could go a little bit lower and hit that trend line. But I told you, again, we are likely going to bottom surrounding this 200 period. And I told you when we were selling off right here, 7% lower, on social media before the rebound ever happened that Bitcoin was going to bottom here. It was forming triple bullish diversions on the 4-hour chart. But we are going to, and I've talked about this in every single video, we're going to eventually rally back up here towards the moving averages. Gee, what are we doing? We may stall at this level and then go on further, but President Trump just kicked off alt season. Seeing this massive surge. Now, right now, we're down 1.5% as we start the Monday session. I'll show you the wave count. Again, we're probably going up into this area here, into the moving averages, the 100 period, the 50 period, the trend line, maybe overthrow them. And then we're going to pull back and get our wave 2, where this is our first subwave of minor wave 5. Plenty of more upside to go. But again, absolutely incredible. And Johnny-come-latelys figuring out, oh, gee, this is, they got extremely bearish. They were, oh, we're all going to die. I told you Bitcoin was in a bottoming process, and I told you the day that it bottomed, right there with that bottoming tail, before we had the rally back up, before we had the bottoming tail form, I told you on social media and then making the video as we started to rally back up to the 200 period moving average. And go watch my last video. You'll see it. Absolutely incredible call. So now I have correctly called the December top, the January bottom, the January top, now this bottom. Now, again, I got the top right. I got the sell-off right. I told you I thought we had a chance of completing wave 4 over here rather than over here. And I told you there's a pretty good chance we were going to get a higher low. I warned you if we took that level out, then wave 4 didn't finish over here. It took over here. I was open-minded to that, but again, remained bearish, and I told you that I was looking for a bottom for completion of this correction. While I was right at the top, right about the sell-off, we did go lower than I expected, lower than the January low. We did. Then I called the bottom right here. We had a shot at the bottom right here, but we still could take out that 200 period moving average. And I told you that the big money eyes the 200 period moving average, and we are likely going to bounce surrounding that area. And I told you if I'm wrong, then we go down further. We have that 2023 trend line, which we didn't quite reach, but if you exclude the shadow, we did hit it. I was right here. I was even right about this bottom and the bounce, and right about that top and the sell-off, right about that bottom, right about that top, right about that bottom, right about the sell-off, but we went lower than the January low. I was wrong about that, but then right about the bottom here, calling that bottom, having the guts to tell you exactly what I think. And again, that's a bottom for Bitcoin. And you got a bunch of people that were telling us this rally wasn't going to happen. They're telling us, oh, we're going up and filling the gap. with Bitcoin futures, and go up and you're going to get wave 1, then you're going to get wave 2, and then you're going to get the wave 3 that's going to take us to a new high. I'll show you the wave count. But again, nailed it yet again, predicting things before they happen. Most people predict things after they happen. Like I said, right now, everybody, wasn't it so obvious all over the internet? They weren't that way a few days ago. They were telling us we were not going to have alt season anymore, that it was over for Bitcoin. I got attacked over and over, people telling me there's no way Bitcoin's going to rally back up. And I told you it was going to be a powerful rally, and it's going to be even more powerful. This is just getting started. I told you it's going to be a massive move higher above this level. And again, I continue to repeat it. I remain extremely bullish on Bitcoin. Again, when the herd gets that bearish, I turn bullish. When the herd is this bullish, I turn bearish. I don't care which way Bitcoin goes, up or down. I can make money either way with Bitcoin. And again, what an opportunity of a lifetime that people missed buying Bitcoin for pennies on the dollar down here, which I was telling you. Opportunity at the 200 period and below the 200 period. Great opportunities for Bitcoin. Took advantage of that. I hope you did too. The dumb money was freaking out and turning bearish at the bottom, as they usually do, but the smart money was buying. But I was warning you, the bullish divergences that were forming on the 4-hour chart, and then this bottoming tail, and my signals turning with the buy signal showing up. Shared with you, signals were confirmed in the daily time frame. In my last update, I talked about that. Absolutely incredible calls, calling the turns as they happen, making some absolutely incredible trades back and forth. Opportunity of lifetime, piles of money to be made on Bitcoin at this bottom right here. A beautiful tradable bottom that I talked about. Now we got to take out this trend line. We got to get back above the 100, back above the 50. There's more work to be done. Okay, and again, the moving averages are in a bearish arrangement. We're going to go higher. We're going to pull back. And again, people that told us this rally wasn't going to happen, they're going to go, oh, see, it's over, it's over. And you're going to get your higher low and your wave 2 once this wave 1 is done. I'll show you where the count is right now. Watch this video all the way through. So if you want to be in the know, watch the video all the way through. If you want to be oblivious to what's going on, then don't watch the video all the way through. Good things come to those that wait. And again, this is just totally paying off. These turns are just absolutely incredible on Bitcoin. And we're going to rally up and we're going to go higher. The same people that told us the sell-off wasn't going to happen over here, we're going to go back up to the channel line. And the same people that told us it wasn't going to happen over here. And the same people that told us this rally wasn't going to happen and that we were all going to die. When we get up higher, they're going to be super bullish, and we're going to be selling into the rallies. The people that are paying attention and the big money, they're going to be selling, and they're going to start the distribution all over again. They're not, see, again, you can't just sit here and sell. The markets don't work that way. The big money, they want top dollar for their Bitcoin. They're not going to sit here and just keep selling. They're going to sell, have distribution, and then buy back, and they're going to run it back up. That's what the smart money's doing. Now the dumb money, the herd, we're going to keep going. I know it goes up. And then they get the rug pull from under them, and then they're all calming down now. But remember the emotions that we had this last week. Don't forget that, because that's coming again when we go up to the highs. And then they're going to get very, very bullish. They're going to get another rug pull, move into recession that they're telling us isn't going to happen. The herd doesn't believe that. And again, going to go higher. Now, we're going to be getting bad news next week. I believe we have, formal State of the Union. I think the first year they don't really call it that. As a president of a new term just takes office. I have President Trump speaking on Tuesday, and he could be talking about Bitcoin there, and he could be talking about, the strategic reserves for cryptocurrency. And Friday, we're going to get, now we could pull back. We could have this rally, and then we could pull back. We're going to probably get the tariffs. Maybe that happens for a few days. We'll see what happens. It happens, and the markets shrug it off. We'll see what happens. I get that, and then you're going to get Friday. You're going to get that crypto summit at the White House. The White House is hosting the crypto summit. And again, with cryptocurrency, you had a very unfriendly administration towards cryptocurrency, and now we have a very friendly administration, all these people, the Treasury Secretary is pro-crypto. Commerce Secretary, and all these people that Trump's appointed, he appointed, the SEC chair. All these people are pro-crypto. That's refreshing, and again, I think that's going to give us the next run-up or part of it. I wanted to mention, the candidate for Byron Donalds. This big rally again. Trump announced on Sunday the strategic crypto reserve, including Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and more, now have confirmation and a follow-through to the bottom that I predicted on Friday. Before the rally ever started, when Bitcoin was selling off 7%, warning on social media that Bitcoin was bottoming. My videos warned you Bitcoin was bottoming. Look at some of these charts. Again, I'm watching this trend line. We're either going to go up to it or overthrow it, and then we'll get a pullback. But I think that will finish our wave one. I'll show you the wave count in just a moment. Look, I keep reminding you of the positive seasonality for Bitcoin. It has volatility during January and February, sometimes one or the other, sometimes both, but then you always rally in March and on possibly into April. Currently, we've had the volatility in January and February. Okay, we've had it in both. Okay, the top was on January 20th, correctly called. Give that top. Again, here, we've had volatility in January, but then we had the rally up into the March high. A little bit more volatility, and again, April to September is bearish. Probably going to rally over the next 6 to 8 weeks. We'll probably rally into April. Rally and then top out. Over here, you had a rally in January, but then you had the volatility late January on into February. Okay, and then you rallied into March. Over here, you had some volatility in January and February, but you went higher in March to complete a counter trend in the downtrend. April to September, bearish. April to September, bearish. We had a rebound here in the late summer on into September, but had a 55% drop. January to March, you had volatility early on in January. You had some more volatility later in February, but then you rallied into March and on into April. Don't lose sight of the seasonality for Bitcoin. We're going to rally higher in March, probably on into April. I think we'll get an inflation freak out. I think the economy will start to fall apart. We'll start seeing evidence of that, and you're going to see Bitcoin collapse very quickly by 50%. Don't lose sight of the big picture. And my Elliot wave count is nailing it. I told you again that I thought we had wave 4 here. It's now being proven correct. I think you're getting the wave 1. You're going to get the wave 2. People that never saw this rally coming, the bears that were blindsided by this, are telling us, oh, we got the gap fill. The futures gap is filling, and then we're going to get a lower high, where then the bottom's really going to come. No, we're going to get the top first. The blow-off top's going to finish. Then you're going to get the crash. Again, wave 4 formed. We're going to push higher. Bitcoin's going to top out, completing the blow-off top, but at much higher levels. And when we get up here, the people that decided now, they were very bearish, earlier in the week when we were collapsing, telling you we were forming the bottom there on Friday. Herd was extremely bearish, but now, they're getting excited again. They're super bullish at these tops. Again, the herd is bullish at tops, they're bearish at bottoms. That's why I got very bullish surrounding tagging our 200 period moving average. But this is what's going to happen. Now, if we do it fast, maybe by the end of March, over the next month here, go on into April, mid-April, late April, then again, maybe you're looking at a little bit longer, likely going to rally into March or April, probably into April, and then you're going to see Bitcoin top out. Same people that never saw this sell-off coming, that were blindsided by this sell-off. Bulls were blindsided here. The bears are now being blindsided here. The people that never saw the sell-off coming, they're going to be extremely bullish up here. And again, nobody's going to be bearish, and they're going to a massive rug pull that's going to make this look like a church picnic. This is what I think's going on. Again, I think we've got these 5 waves higher, as I keep saying, and you're now in your minor wave 5, and you're going to get these 5 waves higher. That's going to take you probably towards the 135,000 area, in my opinion. Could go lower if we hit it sooner. Again, a number's not my target. The trend line is my target that I've talked about at great length and detail. Here it is in the weekly time frame. We're headed to this trend line right here. We went sideways. We've gone nowhere for months since the November rally. We're going to have a continuation of that. Now with the strategic reserve, tax cuts coming, possible Doge dividend that, again, is that money going to work its way back into the stock market, back into the crypto market? It's going to be the narrative, and we're going to get this massive rally back up. Now, again, if we take longer to reach my trend line, we go higher. We reach it sooner, we're lower. Here, maybe by mid-April or so, over the next 6 weeks, maybe we reach it. Have probably a very weak GDP number at the end of April. You're going to have these possible coming into play that could give us an inflation freak out. You're going to have weakening economic data. The recession is coming. Bitcoin's going to peak, and it's going to price in the recession. And then we're going to collapse down to this level right here, and it's going to be very, very ugly. That's going to just kick things off. This channel will eventually break down, and it's going to do it very rapidly, just like we did. We dropped, in less than 2 months or so, around 2 months, I think, we dropped about 50, give or take, might be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but after the November peak, January, we were 52% lower with Bitcoin. See the same thing happen again. In bullish, we're going higher, but then we're going to top and we're going to crash. You see, I really don't care. I'm a trader. I really don't care which way Bitcoin goes. I can make money on the upside. I can make money on the downside. I really don't care. Extremely bullish right now. The bears, the perma bears, they're going to get absolutely clobbered. Just as the perma bulls got clobbered on the way down, the perma bears are going to get clobbered on the way up. Gotta go with the flow. As Eddie Haskell says, you gotta go with the swingers. Sorry, little Leave It to Beaver joke there. What's Leave It to Beaver? Ask your parents. This is what's happening, okay? Don't lose sight of the big picture. We're going higher, man. And again, the big money, the smart money, as they've been selling into the December high, the January high, they're selling into the rallies. They go higher, and they're going to sell into the rally. And then you're going to get the big collapse. It'll do emergency cuts, and Bitcoin will rally up on that, and then it'll collapse even more. So a recession is coming. This is what's going to happen. Once we peak, we're on our way back to take out 15,000. You're going to be moving to the long-term Bitcoin trend line. And again, this is going to take us into 2026. Probably by the summer or fall in 2026, you're going to finish the bear market here. But I remain bullish on Bitcoin. You're going to get your blow off top first. Don't lose sight of the big picture. Okay? Yeah, I'm bullish. Opportunities just presented themselves this week. Those that took advantage of those levels near the 200 period. Those were great opportunities, those levels near the 200 period moving average on Wednesday and then on Friday, testing that 200 period moving average. Beautiful opportunities. But then again, up here is where I'm going to be flipping the trade. And these swings back and forth, absolutely making a killing. We are building momentum. Remember I told you about these tops at this trend line, these December and the January top, the 2021 low separated the 221 peaks. We turned off of those levels. We're building momentum to get above that trend line and go up to the upper channel line where we're going to top up here. And again, that's where the Bitcoin top's going to be, up there. Then everyone's going to go, oh no, 200,000, 500,000, $1 million. People are going to hold Bitcoin and they're going to ride it all the way back down. All the way back down. That's 15,000. Don't be one of those people. Pay attention to what's going on, man. Huge amounts of money to be made. You know, if there weren't, BlackRock wouldn't be selling and then buying it back. You know, I mean, we're seeing they're selling, going to run it up again and then do another rug pull. The big money, the BlackRocks and the institutions and the big players, the fat cats. You have to do what they're doing, man, and play the moves back and forth if you want to be successful. But if you're gonna go up here and go, oh no, Bitcoin's gonna go to 500,000, then again you're gonna be holding Bitcoin as it goes under 15,000. That's where it's gonna go when we get the recession. It's gonna be ugly. Bitcoin's gonna likely stall around this resistance area. We're gonna go higher. We're pulling back right now. We're down 2.5% as I'm making the 2.42% as I'm making the video here on the Monday session. Gonna go higher. VWAP support, horizontal resistance, we'll go higher, and then we'll pull back the short-term wave count up close. Just be aware of this resistance directly overhead, horizontal resistance. This is where we went sideways, the VWAP resistance. This is the resistance near 100,000 right there. Okay, that's 100,000 right there. And again, we're probably going to move up to just under it or just over it, and then you're going to pull back. Right now, we're pulling back a little bit, but the wave count is still going higher. Okay, and I'll show you that in a second. Bounced here off of the blue line, which is the VWAP, anchored VWAP here from the low there at, what was it, 48 or 49,000, whatever it was, from the bottom, okay, the previous bottom. That's where this bottom is. So again, that was the bottom there. This is the bottom here, and then we're going to eventually clear these levels of resistance and clear 109,000. Here's my Elliot wave count in the 4-hour time frame, and again, we're going to end up going higher. You've got a 5-leg push higher that's taking place here, and you're going to end up getting a pullback. Maybe it'll be more shallow, but you're going to come up to just under 100,000, maybe just below that level, 100,000, or maybe just above it here, as I've marked. I don't know which, but you're going to get a pullback, and say we go up to 100,000, you get a pullback, you get a shallow pullback, or you get a deeper pullback. I don't know which. Again, a trader, I look at support and resistance levels. I look at the Fibonacci's. Wherever we peak right here, I'll be looking at the Fibonacci's. I've marked it here as the 61.8 Fibonacci. Maybe we go to the 78.6 Fib. Maybe it's less, but you're going to eventually build momentum to clear that overhead resistance I'm showing you on the previous chart. Horizontal resistance and clear it and go to 100,000. You're on your way up to that upper trend line right there. Let me just bring this up close. I'm zooming out so you can see the 5-leg count. Again, this could take us into mid-April. May take, if we get there faster, maybe late March, maybe late April if we take our sweet time. But I think you're going to go probably into early to mid-April in all likelihood. But then that negative seasonality is going to kick in. Now, if I bring it up close here, you can see what's going on. This is speculation of my part, but this is what I think is going on. You get your first wave going on here, okay? This is the first wave of a minor wave 5. Okay, this is the first subwave of it. You've got these smaller microwaves going on in here. Okay, this is minute wave 1, and these are the smaller waves, the smaller microwaves within that. Bore you with all that, but just know I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 up here, 4, and then 5. And I think that you have right here, you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to get 3, and then you're going to get more, and then you're going to go 5. And again, maybe this takes us up into 100,000 or just below 100,000, whatever the case may be. And then I think you get some kind of pullback. Maybe that's surrounding tariffs. Maybe a weak number with the jobs report later in the week. I don't know. Whatever it may be. Tariffs could do it. But then you're going to have Trump's the union address on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. He talk about tariffs, or does he talk about the crypto reserve? You know, we could still get more volatility with that. But again, whether a deeper retracement or maybe something less, I don't know. But again, I think that this is what is likely taking place. I think we bottomed here. We got this little inverse head and shoulders. Didn't get much of a pullback for the right shoulder, more deeper with the left, but we still got the inverse head and shoulders. And again, this is what I think is going on. So again, I remain bullish on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's now pulling back a little bit here. Again, we have this inverse head and shoulders. I told you we could back test and get a retracement down to this level. We did not. We went sideways. Still got a right shoulder, slanted neckline. We pulled back a little bit right before the Trump announcement there, and then we saw the big surge. And here we go. So we'll be watching. 50 is about to cross above the 200 here on the 60-minute chart. We're back into the positive region. Talk to you about the quadruple bullish diversions are set up here. The bullish diversions, triple, quadruple, the strongest reversal signal in technical analysis. So again, I think we're going up into this resistance area near 100,000 or so. And then this is the 100,000 area right here. And then again, I think we'll pull back, maybe overthrow it, maybe just under it. And then I think we'll get a pullback. But again, Bitcoin is going higher. Again, I think we'll see something like this. And again, this is the wave count I was showing you. That again, I think we bottomed here. We had the triple bullish diversions in the 4-hour time frame. We had the negative diversions back up at the top. Again, this is why I was calling for a bottom at that 200 period moving average. We had the bullish diversions form On Wednesday, we got the triple bullish diversions here. On Friday, we had a quadruple bullish diversions on that 60-minute chart. But again, here, I think you've got the 1, 2. I think we're in 3 right now. I think we're just pulling back. I think this is 4. And then I think we're going to get the 3 and then another 4, a little bit more volatility, and then I think we'll get 5. Maybe that takes us above 100,000, maybe just below it, whatever. But I think you're in the wave 3 of this first subwave right now at the moment. And then I think you get a pullback. I don't know if it's going to be deep. I don't know if it's going to be shallow. We'll see. But you're going to get some kind of pullback. Maybe you stay in the trading range here. Maybe you don't. We'll see what happens from the January low. That's where this is. We'll see what happens, or if we just move outside of that. But again, you could stay in the 90s or the 80s. Whether the 80 or 90,000, however big the pullback is. But again, I think you're in the wave 3 on your way to complete the first wave higher and this 5-leg push higher. That I think you're going to get an ABC pullback that might be shallow, might be deeper. Maybe we stay in the trading range, maybe we don't. But then you're going to blow past 109,000, clear the resistance at 100,000, and go back up and make new highs and slam into the channel line. That could be into late March. It could be on into mid-April to late April. The next, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to see Bitcoin make new all-time highs, and you're going to see Bitcoin get a breathtaking rise. Chart with it. Again, I told you about the bottoming signals in the 4-hour time frame, and again, those played out beautifully. Look at that beautiful move. We'll take a look at this chart shortly. Everything turning back to green in the 4-hour time frame, and now that's spilled over into the daily. I did my last video yesterday on Saturday, right after the close. We had confirmation. I made a video and put it out there immediately right after the close there on Saturday to show you that the signal was confirmed before this bigger rally ever started, but talked about the reversal, just nailing the turns. Now, again, 2 updates ago, I told you that we were forming this bottom there. In my Friday video, again, warned on social media, on X, formerly known as Twitter, Charting Prodigy, warned about all this stuff. You in my videos that Bitcoin was going to form that divergence and bottom surrounding the 200 period moving average. We got these signals, and again, talked about a inverse head and shoulders. It ended up forming, but just with the shallow pullback. I'll show you on the intraday charts. But look what's happening. We're getting this rally again. Now, again, we were flatlined right here. The move representing swing move was down, and now it's going flatlined here. So again, you're in a bottoming process. It'll probably start rising, and we'll probably pull back, go higher, finish wave 1 and get a pullback and get wave 2. But again, I warned you about these signals. I warned you about these bottoming signals and the cloud flipping over here and the bars turning back to green. Warned you about all this stuff long before the strategic reserve was announced by Trump, because I have good indicators. Tell me when tops and bottoms are forming. Over here we got a counter trend, but you had, look at this, back-to-back bullish signals right here forming the bullish divergences that I've talked about. Here's the 4-hour chart, and again, the momentum line in the 4-hour time frame turned back to bullish. Talked about all of this stuff again previous 2 videos on Friday and Saturday when the bottom was forming. That's why I told you the bottom was in before the rally ever happened. The bullishness on the intraday chart spilled over into the daily time frame. Now, I warned you about the top, the day of the top, back over here on January 20th. I told you about the topping signals, and I told you we were going to pull back. And again, the inauguration, I told you before Inauguration Day, we were going to rally into Inauguration Day, which that top was on Inauguration Day, where we rallied and we got the reversal bar. Told you we were going to have a sell-off. That was correct. We're moving back to the January low for a test. I told you that try to get the higher low there, but if we broke it, again, then wave 4 is not done, and we are likely moving back towards the 200 period moving average. Then I called the bottom here. We saw those signals spill over, and look at now what's going on. Balance of power. Balance of power turning bullish here. Sunday bar. Okay, we're pulling back a little bit right now. It's not over yet, but we're pulling back a little bit. Bears are just, those people that never saw this coming, all poo-pooing this rally. And again, going a whole lot higher. But look again, we had the warning signs. When I called the bottom, we were selling off 7% there. And then we began to rally back up. I made the video, posted when we were selling off 7%. And just real fast, if I zoom out here, you can see again, we confirmed this as the reversal bar, then we confirmed the confirmation bar. So I've got back-to-back bullish signals here with the reversal bar marking a bottom here, which these signals did as well, which I talked about. Then I not only get confirmation of this bar, which I've talked about, and now we have confirmation of this bar. So again, and then we're now seeing the trend begin to turn here with the bullish buy signal, and this marked a shift in momentum, the little blue B you see there, and look at the little arrow. Again, all of my signals are flipping back to bullish, but again, total confirmation of what I told you, why I called the bottom on the Friday, which again was an opportunity of a lifetime because everybody panicked, and then we're going to run it up, have the opportunity to flip the trade back from bullish to bearish. Back up at the channel, absolutely incredible signals. These signals, as I told you in my last update, are confirming the bottom that I called there on Friday.